Warning, the following video has a lot of swearing in it. It is not kid-friendly. If you're a kid, go away. I don't want you here.
Don't fuck with a witch.
I warned you!
So back before DMC5 finally came out and became 2019's Game of the Year, I don't care what actually got nominated, Jeff. The only way I was able to get my action hack-and-slash fix for most of the decade was from playing the stuff that Platinum Games made. They've become one of my favorite dev teams in terms of output, and they're one of the few studios that can immediately get me pumped for a new game just by having their names attached to it. Even if they don't exactly have the best B team. At least they got Transformers Devastation right. That's all that matters. They're very niche, and I feel like most of their games are just an excuse for dumb action, but damn, do they nail that dumb action. I'm counting down my 5 favorite games that they've made, ranging from their early commercial failures to their more recent games that actually made a profit. These are all titles with the Platinum Games name, so none of the stuff that their former company Clover Studio made. Also, I haven't played Wonderful 101 because there's no Switch version, and there's no fucking way I'm buying a Wii U in 2019. I did get a GameCube though. I don't know why, my Wii is still working fine. This video was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. It's not really, I just wanted to see if I can make anybody watching this video groan. Love you guys.
The weak will be purged, and the strongest will thrive, free to live as they see fit. They'll make America great again!
Oh, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Where there's no water, the fish are dead, and you've got a rocket launcher. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance of the Sith. I feel like this is the game that started putting Platinum more on the map. The Metal Gear branding definitely played a part in that, but it also helps that Rising is just a really kick-ass game. It was the first title from Platinum I played, and I fell in love instantly. After the crappy tutorial. You play as that guy everybody hated in MGS2 for stupid reasons, who Kojima turned into a cyborg to get people to stop being mean to him. The whole game is you doing what a robot ninja would do. Slice and dice. Rising's main selling point is a little feature called Blade Mode. You slow down time, cut enemies to ribbons, and rip out their spinal cords for your own selfish purposes like the psychotic death machine you are. It's an awesome addition that gives Rising's combat a more unique identity amongst other games of its kind. You could pick apart how rough around the edges the game can be when you take a step back. That inventory screen makes my blood boil. But I can't stay mad at a game that goes as hard to make the player feel like an unstoppable badass as Revengeance does. It's one big shot of adrenaline after another, hit home by the amazing set pieces and OST that I can only describe as being forged and gifted to us by the gods in Valhalla. Yeah, it's pretty easy to cheese the game by spamming parry and exploiting Zandatsu like it's an Amazon worker, but to me, that just adds to the power trip charm of this game. The bosses are easily the biggest highlight of this title. Fun, multi-phase, action-packed spectacles carrying some of the best songs in the game's soundtrack. It's very, very absurd and outlandish, so it is absolutely Metal Gear. More Metal Gear than any shitty zombie game ever will be for certain. There's a story in there, and it's decent, but you'll come and stay for the raw action, which is absolutely worth it. Platinum has quite the knack for creating both women whom everybody wants to be stepped on by, and men whom everybody wants their lower regions decimated by. I feel like with Astral Chain, someone just thought to let the player make their own waifu or gaifu? So they added a custom character creator thing. As of now, this is Platinum's most recent outing, and it's pretty fun. You play as a sexy cop protecting the remnants of humanity from bad guys from another dimension. The main feature that distinguishes Astral Chain from other action games comes in the form of legions, which people apparently compare to stands from JoJo. I haven't watched JoJo, but these things remind me a bit of Persona, so that's the comparison I'll use. You've got about 5 of these guys with different attacks and practical abilities within the game world. The arrow guy can shoot shit, the sword guy is Blade Mode 2.0, the doggo digs shit out of the ground. My personal favorite is the big boy that punches stuff. You can do a surprising amount with pretty much any legion, and it leads to some of the most flashy and exhilarating combat sequences I've seen in a while. The story didn't really do a whole lot for me, and I basically called who the twist villain was the first time I saw them on screen. I guess somebody took inspiration from modern Disney in the absolute worst way they could. You know, aside from buying everything under the sun. But I at least found the setting to be pretty interesting to read into and explore in my own time when I'm not constantly fighting stuff. Every chapter has a sizable amount of side quests and investigations, and they're all surprisingly really enjoyable. The game's not perfect, not with the lack of a dedicated jump button in those dumb stealth levels, but it's still really fun and absolutely worth picking up. I think the game sold well enough to justify a sequel, and if so, Gimme. Also, Olive is best girl. That is a fact.
For the last fucking time, nobody said the remap! I blame our schools!
In MadWorld, you are an artist. Your canvas is the entire world around you, and your medium is the blood and guts of all of the people you kill and mutilate. Oh, this video would so get demonetized if I actually got paid for this shit. The thing that immediately sticks out about MadWorld is the art style. It's very Sin City-esque, being entirely black and white, with the exception of all of the blood that spills from everybody and cakes the environment. It's a very unique art style, and you'd never mistake this game for anything else. It's incredible how vibrant all the environments still look when there's literally no color at all. You're trapped in a game of non-stop bloodshed with idiots, racists, Nazis, big tits, furries. It's basically Twitter. Every stage is racking up a high enough score by getting creative with your kills and fighting the end boss. You could just cut people in half, but that's boring. There is a ton of tools and special events in each stage that allow you to put on one spectacle of a show as you slaughter everyone. It's one of those games where the boss battles are the main attraction, and roughly 80% of the time, they deliver. The whole game is basically a dark comedy with the zany boss concepts and the sadistic commentary from the hosts. I feel like a lot of this stuff should be super offensive. The final boss is literally wearing blackface, for God's sake, but it's so zany and self-aware that it just works. It was written by the same people who wrote Happy Tree Friends and one funny Sonic script before gradually giving less and less of a shit. The whole game is basically an excuse to show off some of the most grotesque and over-the-top violence you'll probably ever see in a game, and it's goddamn glorious. You do it all to the sound of some pretty sick rap music too. The game unfortunately sold like shit when it first came out, probably because it's a gory M-rated game on the same system as Eminem's kart racing, but it has gained a bit of a cult following, so that's cool. For the first title under Platinum's name, it holds up pretty well, and you absolutely should give it a go if you can. I cannot begin to tell you in explicit detail for how long I've wanted to play Bayonetta 2. I didn't have a Wii U because who the hell did aside from the guy in the comments section who's most definitely typing, I have a Wii U, to answer my completely rhetorical question. Thank the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit for Switch ports because I was finally able to play Bayonetta 2 along with the version of the first game that's not this steaming pile of goat shit. Bayonetta 1's a good game and all when the port isn't jacked up, but damn, 2 is just so much better. I feel like this is what character action game fans needed after Ninja Gaiden shat the bed. Twice. And Devil May Cry got an edgy, mediocre reboot that nobody asked for. Bayonetta 2 probably has the most complex combat out of any Platinum Games title to date, given its DMC-esque combo system and various different melee and ranged weapons. It combines the fast-paced moment-to-moment combat of the aforementioned Devil May Cry along with the absurd scale and set pieces you'd find in God of War pre-Kratos having boy. I don't think anything quite reaches the same heights as the first game's final boss, but on the whole, the game goes bigger, harder, more insane, and more awesome. Bayonetta, the titular character, pun absolutely intended, is already one of my favorite female leads in any game ever, and I just love how seamlessly her personality meshes into the actual game. It goes beyond feeling like you're just controlling a mindless AI. The Bayonetta in-game feels exactly the same as the Bayonetta in cutscenes, especially when pulling off the special moves. It's like she's playfully teasing the enemy and flaunting how she knows she's hot, especially with shorter hair. I'd heavily advise not playing this game during No Nut November, but any other time of the year, hell yeah! Buy a Switch, get this game, wait a billion years to download the original game, play it, and then go play the sequel. You won't regret it one bit. Just have to wait for that third game now.
I wish you good hunting.
Glory to mankind. Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
Nier Automata changed my life. Okay, it didn't actually, but it's really good and hands down Platinum's best game to date. After a losing streak where Platinum put out one good game among several lackluster to bad ones, and Xbox blew their chance at their own exclusive Platinum Games title by canceling Scalebound because Microsoft is stupid, Nier Automata was exactly what Platinum needed to get back on track away from rehashing Star Fox with shitty gyro controls. This was a collaborative effort between Platinum and Yoko Taro, a man who defies all conventional explanation and may very well be of a higher existential plane. Automata is just as bizarre as its director and just as amazing. Automata's narrative is one of my favorites from any game ever made. I fell in love with all three of the main cast and their emotional journey. It's a complicated game to describe. There's a lot of depressing shit going on with the possible future our destructive nature could send us down, the characters wondering what it's like to be human and if the battle they're fighting even means anything anymore, and having to deal with Hegel. The true tragedy in Nier Automata is that damn boss. Well, along with a fair few times where the game stomps your soul into powder, but that's secondary. But at the same time, the game uplifts you with a legitimately powerful message about the meaning and beauty of life. It's a very bittersweet game, but it fucking resonates with you. The combat isn't Platinum's best, it's certainly no Bayonetta 2, I'll tell you that much. But the large amount of customization from your weapons to the ability chips make one of the most flexible games ever in terms of how you want to play and adjust your experience. Even with all the JRPG elements added in, Automata's combat still has all the excitement I've come to expect from Platinum's work. The switch between hack and slash bullet hell and aerial mech combat feels so perfect and seamless, I love it. Given a lot of the roughness of Drakengard and even the original Nier's... question mark? Platinum certainly took the IP in a strong new direction, even if the PC port has the stability of any mortal within 10 feet of Keanu Reeves. I love this game to death, it's an all-time favorite of mine. My favorite Platinum game could not be anything else. Also forgot to mention that 2B has a very, very nice dress. She's cute.